Hello, it's Tom here, and today I'm reading letter 5 from Seneca to Lucilius on the philosopher's means. So if you're not sure what these are a series of letters that I'm reading and then kind of thinking about at the end from one of the, what could be considered, I suppose, the very earliest of the Stoics, Seneca the Younger. And in this series of letters, he's writing these moral lessons to his friend Lucilius, and they're about all sorts of different aspects of life and are kind of through a Stoic's lens. And today I'm reading letter 5 on the philosopher's mean. But before we start, make sure you click subscribe and then you never miss one. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Letter 5 on the philosopher's mean. I commend you and rejoice in the fact that you are persistent in your studies, and that, putting all else aside, you make it each day your endeavour to become a better man. I do not merely exhort you keep at it, I actually beg you to do so. I warn you, however, not to act after the fashion of those who desire to be conspicuous rather than to improve, by doing things which will rouse comment as regards your dress or general way of living. Repellent attire, unkempt hair, slovenly beard, open scorn of silver dishes, a couch on the bare earth, and any other perverted forms of self-display are to be avoided. The mere name of philosophy, however quietly pursued, is an object of sufficient scorn, and what would happen if we should begin to separate ourselves from the customs of our fellow men? Inwardly, we ought to be different in all respects, but our exterior should conform to society. Do not wear too fine, nor yet too frowsy a toga. One needs no silver plate encrusted and embossed in solid gold, but we should not believe the lack of silver and gold to be proof of the simple life. Let us try to maintain a higher standard of life than that of the multitude, but not a contrary standard. Otherwise we shall frighten away and repel the very persons whom we are trying to improve. We also bring it about that they are unwilling to imitate us in anything, because they are afraid lest they might be compelled to imitate us in everything. Do not wear too fine, nor yet too frowsy a toga. One needs no silver plate encrusted and embossed in solid gold, but we should not believe that the lack of silver and gold to be proof of the simple life. Let us try to maintain a higher standard of life than that of the multitude, but not to carry it to a contrary standard. Otherwise we shall frighten away and repel the very persons whom we are trying to improve. We also bring it about that they are unwilling to imitate us in anything, because they are afraid lest they might be compelled to imitate us in everything. The first thing which philosophy undertakes to give its fellow feeling with all men. In other words, sympathy and sociability. We part company with a promise if we are unlike other men. We must see to it that the means by which we wish to draw admiration not be absurd and odious. Our motto, as you know, is live according to nature. But it is quite contrary to nature to torture the body, to hate unlaboured elegance, to be dirty on purpose, to eat food that is not only plain but disgusting and forbidding. Just as it is a sign of luxury to seek out dainties, so it is madness to avoid that which is customary and can be purchased at no great price. Philosophy calls for plain living, but not for penance, and we may perfectly well be plain and neat at the same time. This is the mean of which I approve. Our life should observe a happy medium between the ways of a sage and the ways of the world at large. All men should admire it, but they should understand it also. Well then, shall we act like other men? Shall there be no great distinction between ourselves and the world? Yes, a very great one. Let men find that we are unlike the common herd, if they look closely. If they visit us at home, they should admire us rather than our household appointments. He is a great man who uses earthenware dishes as if they were silver, but he is equally great who uses silver as if it were earthenware. It is the sign of an unstable mind not to be able to endure riches. But I wish to share with you today's prophet also. I find in the writings of our Hecato that the limiting desires also helps to cure fears. Cease to hope, he says, and you will cease to fear. But how, you will reply, can things so differently go side by side? In this way, my dear Lucilius, although they do not seem at variance, yet they are really united, just as the same chain fastens the prisoner and the soldier who guards him. So hope and fear, dissimilar as they are, keep step together. Fear follows hope. I am not surprised that they proceed in this way. Each alike belongs to a mind that is in suspense, a mind that is fretted by looking forward to the future. But the chief cause of both of these ills is that we do not adapt ourselves to the present, but send our thoughts a long way ahead. And so foresight, the noblest blessing of the human race, becomes perverted. Beasts avoid the dangers which they see, and when they have escaped them, are free from care. But we men torment ourselves over that which is to come, as well as over that which is past. Many of our blessings bring bane to us, for memory calls the tortures of fear, whilst foresight anticipates them. The present alone can make no man wretched. Farewell. So, the philosopher's mean. What's he talking about? This is a kind of interesting one because it's not so much. I personally feel that in this one it's not so much a kind of philosophical point that he's making. He's instead saying, look, we need to be of the people, and Stoicism was often regarded as kind of philosophy of the street, because Zeno, who was the kind of, I guess, the father of Stoicism, he would openly hold these discussions about Stoicism on the steps of one of the schools, I think it was, and anyone could come and listen and take part, and so it was kind of this free open thing, and so it really was of the people. And Seneca is saying, like, look, some people when they study philosophy they go a bit crazy, and it's all about hardships, and it's all about this kind of advertising to the world that you're into philosophy because you smell and you live in a cave and you shout at pigeons. Whereas he's saying, like, no, we need to let them know that we studied philosophy, but we're just like them. You know, you shouldn't have fancy stuff, but you also shouldn't be dirt poor. You should kind of be treading this middle ground where what people really admire is you, rather than the things in your house, rather than your gold and silver plates. It's all about how reformed as a person you are. And which is good. I guess it's kind of expressing modesty of spirit and body, which is cool. You know, he's saying, like, guys, be chill. I like that. You might disagree completely with my understanding of that. If you do, drop a comment below. Otherwise, subscribe. We've got another letter coming up tomorrow. High five.